Hanjo, how you doing, everybody? Matt the Greeter. Well, check it out. I am riding on 2 new motor mounts right now. So a little update on the Bug Smasher. So my friend who's an engineer was been working on the bike, and we got the front motor mount replaced a little while ago, and went in like a charm, as it's supposed to. And then we went to tackle the rear, and it had sheared off. The bolts, the frame to mount bolts had sheared off, and so the engine was resting on the frame. So then that was a problem. So we weren't able to complete that job, and then it was a devil of a time trying to get new bolts, as you may recall. And so today, with the new rear engine mount, some bolts from McMaster Car, because I couldn't get the Harley Davidson frame to mount bolts with the Allens, and believe me, I tried everywhere, and there's all kinds of weird reasons why I wasn't able to get them. None of which I believe are good reasons, but it's just the reality. So that was kind of lousy. I'm going to turn here, actually. So got bolts from McMaster Car at my friend's recommendation. If you're not familiar with that website or that company, go check them out. McMaster Car. If you're like a bolt head or something, like, just go there and like look at, just go there, check it out. Pretty cool site. Anyhow, so I cobbled together some lock washers, a couple of the motor to mount bolts from Ronnie's in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, who is selling off their inventory never to sell again. Harley Davidson parts, that is. And I got some from as near as my local dealership as possible, which is Revolution Road in West Bridgewater. Very inconveniently located 45 minutes away. Which, listen, for the Boston area, that's a little nutty. So I cobble all of that stuff together, and then put my friend who's an engineer in charge of the wrench. And you know what? We got both frame to mount bolts in, and one of the motor to mount bolts in. And that is the best we could do, because what the situation we're in now, and you may have some advice here, if it's actual, time-tested advice, I'd love to hear it. If you're just spitballing, we've got a snowdrift pile of spitballs, so maybe we don't need any more spitballing, but there's probably something we haven't thought of. But what's happened is, so you have your two, we'll call them sideways bolts, right? The forward one was able to go through. The rear one, they don't line up anymore. And so we got both frame to mount bolts in. Those are the ones that run along the body there, like from the rear tire to the headlight directionally. But the other two that go side to side, like from left to right or port to starboard, the front one went in, but the rear one, only one side of it would line up. But to get all the way through, the other side was not lined up anymore. And so we were kind of looking at the old rear motor mount, and it almost seemed as if there might have been a little bit of bend there at the top where you affix them. And so it got me to wondering, like, is that because the bolts sheared off? But man, these are really solid parts, so I feel like that would not have been enough force to actually flex that. So maybe the place where you're bolting them to got a little bent somehow. And my question is, like, is that a thing that happens? The other reality, as you who followed me know, I've been down twice on this thing First, before, or I think both times were before I was a motovlogger. So I don't have any camera footage of either crash, but one of them I got run off and I had to crash through a median strip, not a highway one, but a side road, you know, where you got a little concrete median with signs sticking out of it. Somebody came on the wrong side of that and I had to eat it, so I crashed through that. The bike was not considered totaled at that point, even though it was hurting. And then several years later, I got rear-ended by a nurse who was driving a Honda Pilot, and which is appreciably bigger than the Bug Smasher, and she rear-ended me, you know, flattened the rear fender into the tire and all kinds of stuff, and still, bike is not totaled as of those two crashes. But it is little funny things like my footrest here on the shifter side is bent. It's bent like down and away a little bit from one of the crashes, and so you know, I hit hard, you know, hard enough to bend that stuff. And so should the bike in fact have been totaled, you know, in either of those two crashes, I wonder. So I wonder if I've got a little bit of a frame bend. So now here I am riding away, and I am testing now the feel of the engine, which is now mounted both in the front and the rear, but the rear is only mounted by 3 out of 4 bolts, because the fourth, as I said, it could not make it all the way through. So that's, I'm heading home. I'm sort of going a little bit of a longer way because I'm trying to feel what's happening. And so do I feel a little clunky? I don't know. When I first start out, it feels way better. Like, things feel good. But it's been a while since I've been able to ride because of this. So maybe it feels good because I'm actually riding. I don't know. So I'm gonna bang a Yui at some point here and head home, and then I'm gonna try to look things over and see. Yeah, we'll do a little nobody behind me here. Yeah, I feel some bumping going on, so I just don't know. Yeah, am I having a problem? I don't know. So I'm gonna go home. Anyway, if you got any experience with any of those issues, leave a comment down below. Give a shout out to my friend Sawdust Workshop. I'll leave a link to his website, or to his YouTube channel, which is a very enjoyable channel. He's just a local New England guy doing some pretty cool, a huge variety of different things. So go check him out. Let him know Matt the Greeter sent you. And I will keep you up to date as far as what's going on here. So anyway, yeah, should I have organized my thoughts before pressing record? Yes, as usual. But anyway, yeah, let's see how this turns out. I do feel like I'm a little clunky. So yeah, definitely feeling a little clunky. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna go home and think about life for a while. And till next time, guys, Matt the Greeter, care about you. Bye.